Hey, good morning there, friends. Pastor Jason with your Tuesday morning check-in. Little grayer and chillier than last time. I put one of these videos out there to you, but according to the forecast, in a few days the sun is back out and it warms back up, and the gray and the chilly won't last forever. There's probably a message in there somewhere, but that's not what we're going to talk about this morning. One of my devotionals I was reading this morning were in Luke, and I came across this really great retelling of a story about Jesus healing someone in Luke, and it just spoke to me a lot today. So that's what I'm going to share with us this morning. It comes from Luke chapter 8. This is right after the woman in the crowd who's been bleeding for years comes up and touches Jesus, and she's healed. And he says, "Hey, someone touched me. I felt some power go out from me." And the disciples are like, "Jesus, look at this crowd. Who are we going to know that touched you?" But the woman knows, and she falls at his feet, and he says, "Woman, your faith has made you well. Go." And so that's a great story. But this comes just after this. Jesus, he's finishing up talking to the woman and the crowd there. This starts at verse 49 from chapter 8 in Luke. While he was still speaking, someone came from the leader's house to say, "Your daughter is dead." Jairus, being the leader of the temple there in the town, was there with them. So while Jesus was still speaking, someone came from the leader's house to say, "Your daughter is dead. Do not trouble the teacher any longer." When Jesus heard this, he replied, "Do not fear, only believe, and she will be saved." When he came to the house, he did not allow anyone to enter with him except Peter, John, and James, and the child's father and mother. They were all weeping and wailing for her. But he said, "Do not weep, for she is not dead, but sleeping." And they laughed at him, knowing that she was dead. But he took her by the hand and called out, "Child, get up." Her spirit returned, and she got up at once. Then he directed them to give her something to eat. Her parents were astounded, but he ordered them to tell no one what had happened. As I read that today, I struck so much by they laughed at it. They laughed at Jesus because they knew that she was dead. And she's just so calmly, so coolly saying, "She is not dead. She is only asleep." For the little girl's mother and father, for Jairus and his wife, the amount of grief that they're experiencing there, I mean, it is overwhelming. And to be surrounded by their friends and their family just confirming that they should be grieving. But then in comes Jesus, and everything changes. Jesus comes in with this idea of hope, and he tells the Father, just believe. Do not doubt. Just believe. It's not a long sermon. There's no parable there. In the midst of this grief, in the midst of this heartache, in the midst of this tragedy, his advice is simple. Do not doubt, just believe. I think there's a lot of input. There's a lot of stuff we're hearing today that tells us just how bad that the situation that we face is, just how dire these times are, just how much bad stuff is coming. And I wonder if in the middle of that, if Jesus is not trying to just simply tell us, don't doubt, just believe. There's going to be a lot of weeping and there's wailing, and there's going to be a lot of people who are telling us to mourn and to grieve and to give up hope. Don't bother the teacher anymore. Your daughter's dead. The verdict is passed. Things are final. But it's not final until Jesus says so. That's the key to this passage. The world may tell us that something has been decided. The world's going to tell us that something is going to happen. The world's going to try to have the final say. Jesus has the final say. Do not doubt. Just believe. I think there's an opportunity that's presenting itself, and maybe it's today, maybe it's in the coming days, maybe it's in a few weeks, where Christ is going to be able to come in to his children, to his believers, to his followers, where he's going to be able to come alongside all of us and take us by the hand and say, okay, child, maybe you've been asleep for a bit, but get up. And our spirit's going to return to us, or we're going to take in some food, and then we get to get on. Then we get to get past this, and we get to go take our next step. I think there's images. There's something going on here in this passage from Luke today that applies to us a whole lot. Christ is going to come, friends. He's going to come. And when everyone else thinks that it's incurable, that this is how it's going to be forever, that nothing else can be done, Jesus comes, and he's going to take us by the hand, friends, saying, okay, child, it's time to get up. May that happen for us soon. May we be a people who do not doubt. May we be a people who are anchored in our belief. May we trust in that now more than ever. Friends, thanks for watching this today and for listening. Know how much you are loved. Know how much that we are praying for you, and how much we can't wait to get together in person again soon. Have a great day, folks.